Short-handed.
We've got some dense fog for the morning commute tomorrow, but temperatures all over the board. Cooler near Lake Superior, warmer inland. Those details next.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Kevin Hodge. Tonight on your WZMQ 19 News, we'll have more details as flooding continues in Delta County following heavy rain and snow melt. Plus, there's expected to be an update on the war with Iran during a press briefing tomorrow morning. We'll have the latest. And today being tax day, we'll get an update on the U.S. economy and the impact the war with Iran is having. Your 19 News at 11 starts now.
Live from the UP, this is WZMQ 19 News at 11.
Welcome in. A first look at your forecast tonight as we're preparing for tomorrow. We're going to see some warmth across the area for some of us, some sunshine and temperatures into the 70s out to Ironwood and even into Iron River, Iron Mountain. And we will have some colder temperatures into the 50s and 60s here into Marquette. Also some patchy fog, especially throughout the morning. So temperatures will vary, just kind of depends where you are, but we should see a few rays of sunshine throughout the day. And make sure to stay tuned. I'll have a full look at your forecast in just a few short minutes.
Kelly, thank you very much. Since Sunday, heavy rain and melting snowbanks have caused flooding across the southern UP. Today, our Escanaba Bureau reporter Lily Simmons spoke with Delta County Emergency Management to get the latest on the current conditions there and what's still to come.
According to Delta County Emergency Management, last month's late season blizzard is just one contributing factor to the area's flood conditions.
We had a large amount of water content in the snowpack. We've had some rain storms built into the melting. We had a very wet soil, so there wasn't a lot of ability for the soil to absorb a lot of that water.
High water levels have led to extended road closures and have affected homes and businesses throughout the county.
We haven't had anybody that has been displaced from any flooding yet. One home near the airport has had some significant flooding, as well as our airport in general. We had to shut down flights. In fact, there's still no flights taking place.
The National Weather Service is reporting a few drier days, but more rain is expected at the end of the week. So emergency management teams will still be keeping an eye on the snow melt.
A lot of our snowpack in southern Delta County is pretty much gone, but you go to the northern parts of the county and definitely up into Alger and Marquette counties, there's still a lot of snow that needs to drain off into the various river sheds.
Right now, Delta County Emergency Management is monitoring water levels at the Ford River, the Sturgeon River, and the Escanaba River.
Even though it's not as concerning with floods along the Escanaba River, we still have concerns with the dam flowing that large amount of water. Down in the northern Lower Peninsula, they've had some levees in some areas that have failed, and that can cause flash flooding concerns.
While Delta County isn't currently in danger of flash flooding, the emergency management coordinator says it's smart to have an evacuation plan in place and to always exercise caution.
The main phrase is turn around, don't drown. It takes very little water to displace especially a smaller vehicle. Some of the road shoulders could be not so secure. Follow the weather service, follow those emergency alert messages that may come out over the TV or radio.
Reporting in Escanaba, Lily Simmons, WZMQ 19 News.
The Michigan Senate has passed a pair of bills aimed at limiting mandatory overtime for nurses. The legislation would prohibit hospitals from requiring nurses to work beyond their scheduled shifts. It includes carve-outs for emergency situations and mandatory rest time between shifts. The Michigan Nurses Association says these bills will address what they say isn't a staffing shortage, but a shortage of nurses willing to work under unreasonable conditions.
At the core, the issue is simple. Nursing conditions are patient conditions. When nurses are required to work beyond safe limits, this is not simply a workplace issue. It's a patient safety issue.
The bills now move to the House, where they've been referred to the Committee on Government Operations. The Pentagon has announced Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth and General Dan Kane, the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, will hold a press briefing Thursday morning on the war with Iran. This comes as President Trump is expressing renewed optimism that an end to the war is in sight. Jesse Mitchell has the latest tonight.
As the U.S. military blockade of the Strait of Hormuz continues, the White House is hinting that an end to the war with Iran is in sight.
We feel good about the prospects of a deal, and it's obviously in the best interest of Iran to meet the president's demands. I think he's made his red lines in these negotiations very clear to the other side, and so we are continuing to see how these conversations go.
President Trump said in an interview with Fox Business News he believes the war is winding down.
I think it's close to over, yeah. I mean, I view it as very close to over.
The president says in-person talks with Iran and Pakistan could resume this week. This comes as the International Monetary Fund is expressing growing concern about the war's impact on the global economy.
The impact on the global economy is already large. Even if the conflict is short-lived, extensive infrastructure damage and supply chain disruptions are pushing prices up and slowing global growth down.
On Capitol Hill, Republican lawmakers are asking Americans to be patient.
I think we have to look at the long game here, that a nuclear-armed Iran would be a huge threat to the future of Americans. So I know it's not easy, but I'm asking Americans to hang in there with us.
But Democratic lawmakers continue to push for a swift end to the war, which they say is costing the American people at the gas pump and beyond.
Republicans are going to be held accountable now and in November for their unquestioning support for a war of impulse and illusion.
The White House said Wednesday Pakistan will continue to coordinate U.S. negotiations with Iran.
The USS Gerald R. Ford broke the U.S. record today for having the longest deployment since the Vietnam War. The aircraft carrier has been deployed nearly 10 months, taking part in both the military raid in Venezuela and now the Iran war. The annual April 15th deadline for submitting federal income tax returns and payments to the IRS is finally here. IRS CEO Frank Bizignano testified before the Senate Finance Committee on Tax Day Wednesday, highlighting new deductions under the One Big Beautiful Bill Act passed last year. The Trump administration says over 53 million filers claimed at least one of the President Trump's signature new tax cuts, including no tax on tips or overtime.
More than 90% of taxpayers who filed electronically received their refund in less than 21 days. The average refund amount is over $3,400, up by 11%. This is real relief going out to working Americans and their families.
Taxpayers who need more time to file can request a 6-month extension with the IRS by midnight. Under the IRS rules, you still have to pay what you owe by midnight, or you could be subject to penalties. The Trump administration on this tax day touted big breaks for Americans, but is it enough to cover the ripple effects of rising gas prices caused by the war? Nancy Cortez has more.
It's been a great tax season for the American people.
Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent said Americans are already seeing record refunds as President Trump's new tax breaks start to kick in. According to the Treasury Department, 53 million filers have taken advantage of new enhanced deductions for seniors, no tax on tips, and no tax on overtime.
If you want to work longer hours, you get to keep more of your money.
The tax breaks were passed into law by Republicans last July and will result in an estimated $748 increase in refunds for the average American household. But those savings could get wiped away by the extra $776 households are expected to pay for gas this year as a result of the president's war with Iran. And while Trump insisted again today that the high costs will be short-lived,
Gasoline's coming down very soon and very big.
Many economists predict that gas prices won't drop to pre-war levels until at least next year. U.S. farmers are facing a double whammy: higher costs for diesel to power their equipment and higher costs for fertilizer, a third of which passes through the Strait of Hormuz. Russell Hedrick grows soybeans, corn, and wheat in North Carolina.
Our liquid nitrogen that we run went up, $100, $150 a ton. So seeing You know, those huge increases right here at planting time really did kind of hit a lot of farmers hard, including us.
Secretary Bessent said that the speed at which gas prices fall is highly dependent on the outcome of talks with Iran. But the timing of the next round of talks is still up in the air.
Kelly Rowland has your first warning weather forecast when we come back. Plus, an NMU social work cohort hosts a panel on how to empower communities on a local level. And we'll hear more about the upgrades the city of Negaunee is hoping to see at the ice arena with funding on the upcoming ballot. That and more when we come back.
19 News is brought to you by Kirkish Furniture.
It's Earth Month in the Upper Peninsula. Small actions make a big impact. Recycle 906 accepts cans, cardboard, plastics, and more, helping keep the UP clean and thriving. This Earth Month, recycle smarter. See what we accept at recycle906.com.
Hey Mace, did you order your prom outfit yet?
Yeah, Mom, I'll do it.
Hey, have you gotten your prom tux yet?
Yeah, Mom, I got it.
Mason, did you order your prom tux yet?
Yeah, it's coming. Mom!
Skip the guesswork this prom season. Come down to Young's Menswear. We get it right the first time. With tons of in-stock options to rent or buy, we'll help you look your best. Don't wait. Trust the experts at Young's Menswear, now in Escanaba and Marquette.
When you think Hard Rock, you're thinking music. But when you think Hard Rock Bet Casino app, you should be thinking rewards.
How about that? That's because on Hard Rock Bet, you get guaranteed rewards every single Thursday.
Legendary rewards like deposit matches, bonus spins, and more for everyone on the app. Just open up the app and see what you get. Hard Rock Bet, roll with us.
New customers get up to $1,000 back in casino bonus, plus 500 bonus spins.
At LJ Aesthetic Studio in Manistee, we believe that beauty is more than just skin deep. Improve your physical appearance, but also boost your confidence and well-being. We use high-quality products and the latest techniques to provide outstanding results. Our goal is to create a welcoming and inclusive space where you can relax, unwind, and feel your best self. Are you ready? LJ Aesthetic Studio in Manistee. Be your best you.
The Shortlist, a countdown show that's all sports. Only from SSN, the Cindy Sports Network.
Now, from the 19 News Forecast Center, this is WZMQ 19 First Warning Weather with meteorologist Kelly Rowland.
Welcome back, getting you prepared for your Thursday. Maybe you're starting to think about those weekend plans, and the biggest weather components we have at the time is going to be some fog and some flooding potential. But as for today, we rounded off at 54 degrees for that high, and the average is 46. So definitely an above average day, and we'll continue with some of that warmth for tomorrow. But with the warmth and the moisture, that's going to cause some of that fog. But as for the flood watch first, that's going to extend. Originally, it was going to stop here on Wednesday, but it's been extended until very early Friday morning. And again, all these neon green areas that you see here, these are flood advisories, so just a little more specific details. But overall, we still have that concern for potential localized flooding, and then also this dense fog advisory that's for basically the entire Upper Peninsula with the exception of out to Sault Ste. Marie. But that's going to really impact your morning commute for tomorrow, and the dense fog advisory should cancel out here by the time we get to 10 a.m. So it's really that morning commute time frame where to make sure you use those lower speeds and lower beams. We'll have some of that fog hanging around for most of the morning. But as for the rain activity on your first warning weather futurecast, things should be pretty dry here for tomorrow the entire day. We may see a raindrop or two, but I would call tomorrow dry. And then as we get closer to Friday, you're starting to plan your weekend. Just be careful of some Friday night showers and storms. Could be severe. We'll look for that possibility of severe storms, but if not, it'll just be your general showers and thunderstorms. But that's your next best chance of rain here, so we're not going to see much, if not any accumulation, maybe all the way down towards Menominee. We could see some of the heavier downpours accumulate to about 1/4 of an inch, but we won't see much rain here for tomorrow. That next best chance of rain would come for your Friday night. But remember, on your fog outlook, what we want to see is 10 miles. That means there's nothing impacting your visibility when you hit the roadways, but we could see about 1/4 of a mile or less for this fog, and this is when it would cancel out. But again, even when you do have that advisory advisory cancel out, that doesn't mean all the fog will be completely lifted. So you just will see around that 7 and 8 and even 9 o'clock time in the morning, especially for that dense fog hanging around. And even though we might not get ample amount of sunshine for everyone, we should be able to clear most of that dense fog out for the rest of your Thursday. And then we could see some of that similar conditions though returning for your Friday morning. So again, we're not looking at much rain, if not anything at all, for your Thursday, maybe just a raindrop or two throughout tomorrow, but then we'll change those chances of the rain when we get to Friday evening, and that's when it goes from a low chance around that 7 and 8 o'clock time, goes all the way from low to probable. So the biggest things you have to be prepared for is that potential flooding and also that morning fog. We'll see it sticking around for tomorrow morning and maybe a little bit more on your Friday. We'll see some wind gusts also on Friday associated with those showers and storms. We'll start to clear things out, dry out the skies for the weekend with some cooler temperatures into the mid to lower 30s.
Kelly, thank you again. Gwinn Area Community Schools has run out of snow days this year, and by law, they need to make up some of them. The district says it's already used its allotted snow days and even secured 3 additional forgiveness days from the state. Despite that, they're still short 2 required days. The district has asked the state legislature to intervene and forgive those days. However, it seems unlikely at this time. Students will have to make up the days before the school year ends. School officials are asking parents and staff to be understanding with these adjustments to the calendar.
2 days. It would be the 8th and the 9th of June. We have to. And we need our parents to support us getting the kids here, because if we can't get the 60%, we can't even count it as a day. And now we lose state funding.
The state requires 60% attendance in the makeup days to avoid funding disruption. This evening, an NMU Social Work Masters cohort brought together local leaders to discuss how they've been able to empower and cultivate their own communities. 4 panelists were chosen to lead the evening with backgrounds in social work, business, student experience, and NMU residence life, each bringing a unique vision of community to the conversation, discussing experiences in inclusiveness, making personal connections, and strengthening movements to push for change. One student says engaging with a supportive circle is essential to living in the Upper Peninsula.
So there is a lot of emphasis on the importance of community up here, whether that be like in times of tragedy or times of celebration. It's important to teach the community how to get together and advocate for their wants and needs.
Over the semester, the cohort of 13 social work policy practice students split up into 5 groups covering the event's planning and coordination. The city of Negaunee is one of several area communities with items on the May 5th ballot. As our own John Truitt explains, the future of their ice arena is at stake.
The city of Negaunee is asking voters to approve a bond of up to $1.25 million on the May 5th ballot to fund major repairs and upgrades to their aging ice arena. The arena is roughly 40 years old, and key systems, especially the chiller or ice-making system, is failing and at the end of its lifespan, putting the facility at risk of shutting down.
So we're looking at trying to see if the people in Negaunee want to reinvest in this facility so we can get the chilling unit working properly, a unit that was never brand new when it was installed.
The ask is .49 mils. What does that translate to the average homeowner?
On the low end, we're looking at folks paying roughly about $25 a year. And then more towards the high end, where most people fall on average, they'll be paying about $63 a year.
The Negaunee Ice Arena is the home of youth hockey in western Marquette County, including the Negaunee High School team.
If you have any doubt about how many lives the Negaunee Ice Arena touches, look behind me at all the families for the junior hockey banquet held here every year.
It's a great thing for the community and, the hockey program just in general. It's great to get the kids in here and give them something to do through the winter.
Aside from replacing the ailing chiller unit, Heffron says the funds would pay for improvements to the locker rooms, parking lot, and bathrooms, as well as installing ADA-compliant seating.
The facility has been built by the community over 40 years ago. Or this is a facility for the community. So the community has to make the decision on the future of this facility as well.
And so the fate of the Negaunee Ice Arena is now in the hands of the voters. In Negaunee, John Truitt, WZMQ 19 News.
Still to come on your 19 News, the strength of NASA's heat shield used in the latest lunar mission is being called into question. We'll have that and more in just a couple minutes.
From now through April at Fox Negaunee Chevrolet GMC, lease a 2026 Chevrolet Equinox 2 LT all-wheel drive for $400 a month for 36 months. Together, let's drive. Fox Negaunee Chevrolet GMC. Experience the difference.
Brandy is here and we are beyond excited.
You blessed us all with your vocal Bible singing self.
I can't believe you said the vocal Bible. You can really sing.
Until I try to sing Brandy.
Plus, Afrobeat sensation Ira Star on J-Hood.
The Jennifer Hudson Show, tomorrow at 4 on WZMQ CBS. Followed by The Kelly Clarkson Show at 5 and 19 News at 6.
When you need a body shop, skip the corporate shops and outside investors. Go with your hometown body shop, Superior Collision. Our family opened Superior Collision in 2002, and we're still the ones who own and operate it today. Some places talk about community. We actually stand with our community, donating monthly back into Marquette County. When you need collision repair, choose Superior Collision, your local hometown body shop.
Here's your WZMQ CBS This is Home Community Calendar.
Get supplier pricing on all new Chevrolet Silverado 1500 trucks now through April at Fox Negaunee Chevrolet GMC. Supplier pricing for all on new 2026 Silverado 1500 trucks at Fox Negaunee Chevrolet GMC. Together, let's drive.
You're watching WZMQ 19 News, live and local with Kevin Hodge.
Welcome back, everyone. Scams and fraud targeting older people is a serious problem in the U.S. The FBI says elder financial abuse costs seniors more than $7 billion every year. Dorothy Tucker speaks with a woman who says her family faced this firsthand, and the suspected culprit was not who they expected.
My mom was a stay-at-home mom. My dad worked hard, but they never missed anything that we were involved in.
Kathy Solway says her parents took good care of her and her brother Robert Carlson as kids. But in 2022, it was her parents' turn to be taken care of after they moved into an assisted living facility in Wisconsin. Fortunately, they were financially secure until March 2023, when she says her brother said this.
We need to sell their house. They have no more money.
She went to the bank. Her parents' savings, tens of thousands of dollars, were gone.
Left the bank, sat in my car, and about had a complete breakdown.
Someone had been transferring funds from her parents' retirement accounts to separate accounts, then writing thousands in checks.
We call all these institutions, and I'm told William Carlson took them out.
The problem? Solway's dad, William Carlson, was in memory care and didn't have access to his accounts.
Hi, Jeanette. It's William J. Carlson.
The voice on the other end?
That is my brother.
Her brother did have a right to access the accounts. He had power of attorney so he could pay his parents' bills. But Solway says he was also using the money to pay his own bills.
It was so disappointing. I felt betrayed.
In late 2023, Solway took her brother to court to remove him as power of attorney. 7 months later, he was barred from accessing the trust. He admitted in a court deposition that he took some of the money. The siblings' parents died last year. Carlson never faced criminal charges, but was ordered in civil court to repay $430,000 to the trust.
Experts say these situations highlight the importance of having financial conversations with loved ones before they enter a care facility, making sure everyone understands where accounts are held, who has access, and how bills are being paid. They also recommend designating trusted contacts on financial accounts. While that person cannot withdraw money, they can monitor activity and be alerted to any suspicious changes. Now that Artemis II has gone up, around, and come down again, there are questions about the heat shield that protected the crew on re-entry from temperatures about half as hot as the surface of the sun. Chris Van Cleve has the latest from the Johnson Space Center in Houston.
So far, our sources here at NASA haven't told us there were any issues with the heat shield, and we know it worked well enough to safely bring all 4 Artemis II crew members back to Earth. But NASA has not done a full review of the capsule and the data surrounding the re-entry yet. The image raised questions online, and NASA Administrator Jared Isaacman jumped in on X over the weekend, noting the curiosity around the mission, writing, "No unexpected conditions were observed, and the white color noted in that photo is consistent with what they had seen in testing." CBS News space consultant Bill Harwood.
The heat shield got the crew back to Earth successfully. But on the other hand, you want to make sure these computer models are matching reality. And so I think regardless of the exact details of how the shield performed, NASA's going to want to make sure that they understand how to model these things, how to predict how it's going to behave in future flights.
This type of heat shield is being retired after this mission, so it won't fly again. The NASA administrator has pledged to make all of the findings public. We expect to hear from the Artemis II crew directly during a press conference later on Thursday.
Get your votes in now. The nominees are out for the American Music Awards, and fans get to pick the winner. Plus, Netflix is teasing a major television throwback. Gwen Baumgartner has tonight's entertainment headlines.
The nominations are out for the American Music Awards. Newcomers Olivia Dean and Somber each have 7 nominations. Taylor Swift leads the pack with 8 nominations, including Song of the Year and Best Music Video for hit The Fate of Ophelia. She's also competing for Artist of the Year against 9 other artists, including Harry Styles, Bad Bunny, and BTS. Music critic Chris Willman expects Swift to take home the top prize, but expects Latin and K-pop fans to put up a fight.
But Bad Bunny's got to be the closest challenger, and I would not be at all surprised if he slips in there. BTS, their fans love to get on the warpath as the army, so there's always a shot there.
The AMAs will take place on Memorial Day and air on CBS and Paramount Plus. Queen Latifah will serve as host. This year, a new category was added for Best Throwback Song. Nominees are Rock That Body by Black Eyed Peas, Iris by the Goo Goo Dolls, and What's Up by 4 Non-Blondes. Netflix is also joining in the throwback trend with a look at life on the prairie.
They were happy because they were a family.
Laura and the Ingalls family are returning to the small screen with an upcoming adaptation of Little House on the Prairie. The series heads to Netflix July 9th.
Now don't go anywhere. When we come back, Kelly Rowland has our final look at weather. Stay tuned.
Now through April at Fox Marquette Subaru, lease a 2026 Subaru Forester Premium for $399 a month for 36 months or get 1.9% APR for 75 months. Fox Marquette Subaru. Experience the difference.
Get everything you need to start your spring off right. Plus, get an 11% rebate with Menard's Garden Center. Choose from our wide selection of colorful flowers, lush trees and shrubs, and everything in between. Plus, pick up seeds, tools, and decor to keep your garden green and growing. Stop in to the Menard's Garden Center today and spring into big savings. Find these fresh deals and more and get an 11% rebate at Menard's.
Save big money at Menard's.
Shop our huge selection of Amish crafted dining room sets at Kirkish Furniture in Houghton. Browse our large in-stock collection and customize with a special order with 1-year no-interest financing available, plus free delivery. Shop Kirkish Furniture today.
Pure Outdoor is the first program dedicated to increasingly popular outdoor and eco sports. Pure Outdoor.
Now through April at Fox Marquette Subaru. Lease a 2026 Subaru Crosstrek base for $289 a month for 36 months, or get 2.9% APR for 75 months. Fox Marquette Subaru. Experience the difference.
On the next edition of Comics Unleashed, with your host, Byron Allen. As 5 of the most hilarious comics take it to the edge every night, and nothing is off limits.
That's what I learned in any relationship. Communication is the most important thing. Yeah. The more you can avoid it, the better you'll do. Just avoid it out the way.
Comics Unleashed.
Weekdays on WZMQ CBS. Escanaba reporter Lily Simmons on WZMQ 19 News.
And a final check of your forecast as you start to prepare for your Thursday. We have that flood watch that will cancel out here very early Friday morning, but also that dense fog advisory that's mainly going to impact your morning commute tomorrow. That's for basically the entire UP, and it's through 10 a.m. tomorrow. So especially when you hit the roadways tomorrow morning, we could see some visibilities reduced to as low as a quarter of a mile or even less into some places. It's just going to be that patchy, dense fog across the UP for tomorrow. It'll gradually cancel out here throughout the morning. Some of that fog may stick around though for a lot of the northern portions of the UP, where we'll be a tad cooler, but as we get down towards Iron River, out towards Ironwood, Iron Mountain, we're looking at warmer temperatures, kind of summer-like here into the lower 70s with some rays of sunshine. So that'll help to burn off some of the fog. But again, the main weather components here for tomorrow and as you start to plan your weekend is the fog throughout the mornings here, a little bit of that flood watch, and then that next best chance of rain, some showers and storms for your Friday evening, but we'll have more updates coming up tomorrow.
Kelly, thank you again. And finally tonight, more dinosaurs making headlines. From Jurassic Park to Jurassic Art, prehistoric fossils are getting a modern makeover at a museum in Amsterdam. They're staged among pieces of art to highlight their shape, scale, and unique nature. And many of the biggest discoveries come from the U.S., including this 67 million year old Triceratops skull unearthed in Montana.
This is a way of bringing back the reversion, that the love for these species that they really deserve.
Also on display, the bones of a Basilosaurus, which roamed the seas up to 40 million years ago. That's all we have for tonight, everyone. We'll catch you back here tomorrow at 6/5 Central. See you then.
Andersen brand products are #1 in quality. And the Window Store is your local Andersen expert for installation and service of all Andersen windows and doors. From showroom to your home. Andersen Windows and Doors at the Window Store.
Hey Mace, did you order your prom outfit yet?
Yeah, Mom, I'll do it.
Hey, have you gotten your prom tux yet?
Yeah, Mom, I got it.
Mason, did